Hi, I'm Tina Giraldi, and first of all, I just want to thank Ms. Matthias, my curriculum administrator, who nominated me for this Educator of the Year, and all the students that have followed suit with her for this nomination. So thank you so much. I was very honored to get nominated. So first, I'd like to talk about student engagement and classroom management. Student engagement is really important. You need to know your students, and that's what I usually do for my freshman and my sophomore class. We're a 4-year program here, so getting to know my freshmen and my sophomore class is essential. It helps me to build a foundation in my curriculum to teach them, and helps them build a foundation with the material they need to move forward and progress to the clinic floor, the senior clinic floor. My students will get their permits in their junior year in our program, which allows them to get much more clinical time on the senior floor and help out the seniors and assist them. Kind of like a mini-me version of big sister, little sister type of thing, and that seems to work out really well. My senior and my junior class share a clinic together, so the student engagement with them is I'm really just someone who sits back and observes. They run the salon as if they were, there's a salon manager. They all work together to answer telephones, they book their own clients, they schedule, they call and confirm appointments. And then when clinic actually takes place, we have a receptionist and they learn how to talk to clients and communicate with them and collect money, and they run it efficiently on their own, which is fantastic because they create ownership of their clinic. It becomes them, becomes a part of them. And it's super important that they have that ownership because it makes them more effective. They work one-on-one with their clients. They'll assign a junior student who has a permit to assist them, and it helps build the juniors up for their senior clinic as well. Their classroom is theirs. It's not mine, it's theirs. And it's sometimes it's all of ours. When I have to step in, I step in. And when things are running very smoothly, I just let them do the work and let it flow. Technology in the classroom. So technology in the classroom has become really essential. We use software now that actually is very interactive with our students. Students that maybe have IEPs or 504s, or just students in general that are dealing with COVID in the last couple of years have had difficulties with really understanding and learning, and they've had a lot of distractions. I use a software from Cengage, which is called MindTap, and it's a great technology to use in the classroom because it will read the textbook to the students. It has note cards and study guides and assessment evaluations along the way that help students be able to gauge where they're at and how much they're retaining of information. And it also helps me see what they're understanding and not understanding. I always say to my students, I'm not here to fail you. I'm here to assist in your success. So by using this type of technology, that as well is assisting in their success. It's helping them achieve goals and keeping them focused on the material as we go through it. Probably about a year ago, I was approached by my administration. We all were in our school district of who would want to get involved with learning social emotional learning and attend this seminar for yoga and SEL facilitation. And I put my name in for it and thought it would be very useful, and was selected to go for this training. I spent my last year summer in a 200-hour course learning yoga, asana movements, and learning social emotional learning skills that I could take back to the classroom. And I will admit, at first I was, a little skeptical about it, and as I continued through it, I saw what a huge benefit it would be for my classroom, especially students that are going through the residuals of COVID and having so much stress and anxiety today, I thought, how could I use this in cosmetology? Well, cosmetology, we're always concerned about two things. We're concerned about our bodies and being ergonomically correct with our bodies and not injuring ourselves. We carry a lot of that physical stress. And we also carry a lot of emotional stress in our industry, but as students, even more so because they have other things that they're concerned with, not just my program. So this year, I innovated a Friday yoga reflection. So why Friday? Friday is because Thursday is our clinic day. That's the day that they run the salon. And that's the day that they're learning from their mistakes and they're creating great successes. And sometimes that carries with them. So what we do is Yoga Reflection Friday. We clear the classroom, we put our yoga mats down, and we do some meditation movements and some stretches for our ergonomics bodies. And then we have this meditation time where we do some deep breathing. We create a safe space. We do reflections that allow us to rely on our partners, where we have to create trust within our partners. And we create this safe space that when we're complete with the meditation, we open up the floor to reflection. And students in a safe place are able to share what problems that they might have had in the clinic and what successes that they had, what they could have changed or done differently. It allows me a space to share what I saw and how they handled themselves and where we can improve or things that we did really well. And the students really get excited about it. Their excitement comes from hearing what other students think about what's happened, and it allows them to kind of dump any anxieties out in the middle of the room and kind of release it and let it go. And we all walk away, even myself as their instructor, we all walk away with like a lighter spirit, a renewed mind, and a strengthened soul to move on for the next week. It's absolutely wonderful. I incorporated yoga reflection in my freshman class just only probably a couple months ago. Every Monday they come in and we do a 15-minute meditation start of the day, and it really seems to help the freshmen get focused for the week and kind of unload what their weekend had for them and not have so much stress moving forward in the week. It's been an extremely positive addition to my curriculum. I love it for myself, and I think it's so beneficial for them, and the students look forward to it. When they don't have it for whatever unforeseen reason, they miss it, and they always make sure that we make it up the next week. It's been wonderful. You know, I really try to make our classes fun. Life can be very stressful, and I'm trying to get the students to learn how to just roll with it and not take things, you want to take life seriously, obviously, but to not take it as seriously as some may think and just kind of roll with it. The biggest positive thing that has happened in my classroom is that the students know that I'm strict and I follow a very strict rubric for my class. It's like their grades are like earning money. They're earning what their grade is, and that we relate it to the work industry as being money. So that helps motivate the students to do well because they want to cash in at the end of the week with their grade. But most importantly, I make the classroom fun. A lot of it is memorization, so I'll act out little skits so that they can remember certain definitions and certain terms. And they think I'm like really goofy when I do it, but in return, when they go to take that state exam or if I'm giving them an exam, they tell me they hear my voice or they see my face and they remember that facial expression that I give. And for whatever reason, it allows them to get the answer right. So I do have that little, comedy relief. I guess, some fun comic relief in my classroom, which they think I'm kind of goofy lady, but in the end, they really are learning from it, and they hold that information. So I think that adds a lot to our class. So again, they know that I'm a very strict teacher. I have high expectations of them. The first rule I have when they come in as a freshman is don't lie, don't cheat, and don't steal from me, and I will always respect you as an adult. And that has gone a long way. Students know that they can come to me and tell me, listen, I just didn't do the work, I was tired, or I just neglected it. And I say, okay, well, let's get it done the next day. And the first time is no penalty. If they continue that, then there becomes a penalty. But they know they can come and be honest with me. And that is huge, to create that honest, respectful environment in a classroom. So as the years that they get to know me, by senior year, there's the camaraderie. There's a huge respect there. And students that graduate will continue to stay in touch with me and call me for questions or advice, or share some of the things that they've done. And I've actually invited former students back into my classroom to share with my current students their experience while they were here. So all of these little things, they seem like not a big deal, but when you put them all together, they're huge, because it's creating such a family-like environment, and that's what we're about. Respecting and caring for each other, and doing and helping each other to become successful, because we can't do it alone. We have to rely on each other to become successful, because even in industry, you will run into some of these people that you went to school with, and they're going to be there to help you still and support you, and you never know where your path is going to end up. When it comes to a student's creativity, I hold no boundaries for creativity. I think sometimes learning from our mistakes, and I want them to be creative. I want them to think outside the box. I don't want them to feel like one way is the only way to get there. So I will teach multiple ways of getting to the end result, and then I'll step back and then see where that leads them. Creativity is so important in our industry. It's important in life in general. Everyone needs to be able to find their niche, and they need to find it on their own. Somebody can't tell them that direction. So it's important that students learn that, and they learn how to become creative and trust their instincts and trust their eye when they see certain colors or certain shapes and haircut designing. They need to be able to trust themselves. And I allow that to happen by not always correcting their wrongs. I will approach it as, that's an interesting idea, that's an interesting technique. Let's try it out. Let's see it through. And then the student will see it through, and then they make the decision whether, wow, Ms. G, that just didn't work. And I'm like, okay, well, why didn't it work? Let's peel the onion apart and see what layers we have here. And then they're able to figure all that out on their own, instead of me just saying, no, don't do that. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna happen. So, just bag that. That's not how I teach. My method of teaching is, okay, that's interesting. I've not seen it that way. That's not my vision, but that's your vision. And so let's run with it. Let's play it out. And then when it doesn't work, we can peel those layers apart and really focus in why didn't it work. And the student then gets to see it. It's like that aha moment. Okay, oh, I should have done this, or I get it now. Versus me just saying to them, bag it, it's not gonna work. When it does work, I'm like, aha, wow, that's fantastic, that worked. And I would not have thought of that procedure. So I'm gonna write some notes about that and add that to my little toolbox of things to teach. So we're constantly learning off of each other, which is so much fun and amazing. And that's what education is about. It's about learning from each other and experiencing new experiences. And every year it's different because your students are different. even throughout the years that I have them, they're changing, they're evolving, they're becoming more mature, they're becoming more creative, they're finding who they are. And cosmetology is such an artistic industry. To be who you are, it really is exciting to see that play out. It's exciting to see my students grow in that way. And that's what motivates me, is the fact that I'm assisting in helping them find themselves. And whether they're in cosmetology or not, whether they choose to move in this industry or not, what they're learning here doesn't leave them. It's a part of them, and it will help them be successful in any avenue that they choose moving forward.
Ms. Giraldi inspires us by being creative and letting us open and do our own techniques of how we do cosmetology. She lets us express our own feelings in our own creative ways on how to do hair.
She always has positive energy when we're walking into the room. Lets us know that our dreams are possible, no matter what the extent of that dream is. There's just, her smile brightens up the room when we walk in.
Every day when we walk in, she always has like great positive attitude about what we're doing, and always wants to make us smile and enjoy what we're actually doing, and talks about the benefits of working in a salon.
She's very helpful when it comes to certain labs, pushes us to be the best that we could possibly be.
She's always there to guide me through what's happening or what's going on. She always gives positive feedback for how we can make ourselves even better.
She always pushes us to our full potential. If we seem to be struggling with something, she'll keep pushing us to do better, and she believes in us all the time.
She gets me very excited because she always tells me that there's always a possibility to do better with myself and with my work. So, like, I always know there's a possibility to do better, and I always know that there is a better outcome for it.
She always has an upbeat attitude, and she always talks to us about her previous career experiences and how they benefited her and how they will benefit us in the future.
She definitely inspires a lot of us to be in the field. If we're not pushed forth to being in cosmetology, she's definitely the type of person who would get you into it.